E40, I just interviewed him, and he grew up in Vallejo, and he talked about the effects of when it hit Vallejo. He said it was called base rock in his neighborhood. Crack ended up hitting the Bay Area and Vallejo as well. Do you remember the neighborhood starting to change during that time?
Oh, definitely. Because when Yola came to the inner city, back then we called it base rock cabbies. You know what I mean? We called it base rocks. Then, you know what I'm saying? And then at that time, it was, it was kind of like, to me, it was, when it hit, it fucked shit up too. You know what I mean? It was cool for some that, made a way out of nowhere and was able to pay their bills. It was like, I always said, it was designed to pay bills. And even though it wasn't really designed for that, but I'm like, if when when it was going down, people would, make a profit trying to sell, trying to pay their bills and, and survive.
And at first it becomes like an entrepreneurial thing. Like suddenly all these people in the neighborhood that used to be poor are now, they got cash, they got nice cars, they got cell phones, they got nice clothes. And you don't see the problems right away.
It took a while. It took a while before you started seeing crack addicts.
Yeah.
Because they don't just turn into crack addicts in a week or two. They don't quit their job.
Yeah.
Like some people are functioning addicts. They can go to work every day.
Yeah, and that's what was happening. But after a while, you started seeing like, oh, that's so-and-so who used to work at now he's just on the street every day. And
I've seen them quit great jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm finna start selling crack like y'all. Hell with that job. But that was a way for them to smoke all day, every day. They don't have to quit smoking. They
go to work, yeah.
They just keep smoking.
Just getting high off your own supply, basically.
And that's what most of them wanted. Most crack addicts, what they want is to continuously get high.
What percentage, like when you look at all the people that were dealing under you, what percentage of them were actually using themselves?
Not many.
No.
The younger guys, they quit, I mean, they never used. A lot of them didn't even smoke weed. They were just straight, I don't know, my like the guys coming to me, they were kind of like the new entrepreneurs. They had watched me do my thing and they had refined it almost, and they just did it better.
Well, I interviewed Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
And he talked about for 18 years, he had a $2,500 a day crack habit.
For 18 years?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if it was every day $2,500, but essentially he had a huge habit for 18 years of his life. In fact, when Public Enemy were doing their video for Night of the Living Bassheads, which is an anti-crack song, Flav was getting high during, in the back. And in fact, he even talked about in our interview how he actually got real crack addicts and gave them drugs for the music video to make it look more realistic. And Chuck D, when he heard this, he was like, listen, I don't know anything about that shit. I'm not co-signing none of that. But he, Flavor Flav really had a serious problem. And he's been sober now for 8 years. But what he said, which was interesting, he said he doesn't feel like he is over his addiction yet. He feels that if it took you 18 years to be in it, it takes you 18 years to get out of it.
I was fucked up off of that shit for 18 years. So that means you're going through a dark-ass tunnel for 18 years. Now, in order for you to get out of that tunnel, you got to turn around and come back 18 years. The same distance that it takes you to go there, it's going to take you that same amount of time for you to get back.
So he's still 10 years away from actually feeling like he's over it.
Yeah. Well, addiction is a mother. Mm-hmm. I mean, even with myself, I still have nightmares of selling drugs.
Really?
Absolutely.
And how do those nightmares go?
All the homies, we back together. We rolling. Money coming in, and then all of a sudden, the police is at the door, house surrounded. We don't know what we're gonna do with all the dope we got, and I'm on my way back to prison. those come maybe like every other week.
Really?
But I'm not the only one. Like we had a conversation a couple weeks ago with some other guys, because quite a few guys that had life sentences with me, they got out under this Second Chance Act and the Obama thing. So a lot of them starting to get out, and now that we be out, we just be having like little conversations, and they had those same type of nightmares.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean,
so addiction is it's tough. You got to be strong.
Yeah. I mean, I got people in my family that are still addicted to drugs, well into their 50s. All their kids had left the house and whatever, and they would still go in and out of it. Crack is a motherfucker.
Yeah.